I feel like I'm uniquely qualified to be uninspired by this one. Hmm. Hello everybody, it's the Warhipster here, coming at you with another Sprue review. Yes, we're back with the Sprue review content. We haven't done one, I think, since Scaventide. So it's been a little bit of a while, and that was a really awesome, amazing box. And I was very excited. I've come out of this giddy dream, because Games Workshop have sent me the Blood Angels Army set. That's exciting. It's excitement by proxy. Yes, Games Workshop have sent me the Blood Angels Army set, containing 2 new models and a bunch of upgrade sprues for the Blood Angels. Now, one of those things is pretty cool. The other 2 are reboots, and the rest of the models are existing models that clip together with the upgrade sprue. There's also a new codex, and there's also some data cards in there, which is great, and a new transfer sheet. I don't know why I was stumbling over that. My words. I'm struggling to make this video. I'm not gonna lie. This is a really difficult one for me to make, because I should be super califragilisticexpialidocious about this. I should be over the moon, because the Blood Angels, as you guys know, are my army. They are my 40k army. They are my favourites of all time. I absolutely adore the Blood Angels. I have like 10,000 points of them in 10th edition terms. There's a video here on YouTube showcasing the entirety of the Blood Angels at that point. There's actually been more that have been added from then, because I actually finished Leviathan. But the Blood Angels are finally here, and I am meh. I'm just not excited for it. You know? Like, the models are great. They're fantastic. Lemartes and Astorath, they're brilliant. I think they look great. The Sanguinor is okay. The Sanguinary Guard are interesting. You know, there's lots of cool stuff that's going on. The new Sanguinary Priest, for example, looks pretty good. The Captain, he's nice as well. There's nothing I can really fault about the way the models look. It's just this kind of feeling that's really difficult for me to describe unless you kind of agree with me that I feel about this. So I've talked about it for months. I am not enjoying the age of reboot for Warhammer 40,000. I don't think it's particularly exciting, and I don't think it's particularly inspiring, because it's all so very predictable. I'm sure if we go back through the streams and things where people have asked me about Blood Angels or stuff like that, I will have said most of what has actually happened in this book months before, and it's now here. And that is really kind of sounds braggadocious, I know, but it's just like, I feel like it's evidence. I feel like it explains the way I feel about Warhammer 40,000 in a better way than I can do now in this kind of stressed out version of myself that you see before you. So the Blood Angels are here, and I think they're beautiful, but man, I wish I was more excited. This one's clearly not for me. I don't think I'm the market now. I really don't. And that's great. And also sad. Let's just get to the sprue review, and then we'll save more of our thoughts and feelings for the end, shall we? Please do leave a like on the video and comment below to tell me whether you're excited or whether you're a bit uninspired, like I am, about the Blood Angels. And also, please do subscribe. Do all of that good stuff, because I need you. So here it comes. Blood Angels Army set sprue review. Coming up next. Okay, here it is then. The Blood Angels Death Company Army set. I'm not sure what it's actually called. Just called the Blood Angels Army set. There we go. Here it is. In all its glory. Black and white. This is very reminiscent of the Warhammer Plus thing, whose name I can't remember right now. But there we go. It looks pretty cool. let's just flip it over and have a look at what is actually contained within the Death Company Blood Angels army set. So inside we get the new Astorath and the new Lemartes, and that's it for new models. The only other thing in here that is new, aside from the codex and the cards, is 4 Blood Angels upgrade kits and presumably a transfer sheet as well that's new to go with all of the new Blood Angels stuff. But the intercessors here, they are assault intercessors by the looks of things, and the jump pack guys, they are jump pack intercessors. So, and the brutalis as well. That is, none of that is new, just these two plus the little upgrades and stuff that are scattered around on these guys. So things like the heads and the shoulders and stuff like that. The Death Company stuff is not sculpted, that is painted on in freehand terms. Same for the brutalis dreadnought over here. So well, let's open it up, shall we? Let's just slide it out. So with that slided out, we get this lovely kind of outer part of the box, and we also get a full colour version of the same artwork. Oh look, Sanguinary Guard. They look really cool. But they're not the focus for this, so just ignore them. This is what we're looking at here. It's the Death Company guys just there front and center. So it's a lovely slipcase. So that was a previous there was a kind of sheath over the top of the outside. So now we slide out a tray. To reveal a large box of sprues. And straight from the off, the new stuff is front and center, as you can see. So here we have the let's just adjust slightly, there we go. So those are 2 of the new upgrade sprues, and they promised us 4, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4. By the looks of things, they all look to be identical. Yep, 2024. So we got our 4 kits, and then that one there is Astorath, there he is, and here is Lemartes as well. Then we have our Brutalis Dreadnought here, there, and everywhere. And then underneath that, this is a Assault Intercessor Sprue. It's not just like a... You can't build your intercessors with bolt guns for this one, or bolt rifles, whatever they're called these days. And there's our jump pack, guys. So 2 sprues of that, because the kit is normally in 5s, so you're getting 10 in this box. There we go. Let's just pop all of that out of the way. Then, of course, we have a large card insert, the Warhammer logo, and ooh, there we go. That's nice. We have an absolutely gorgeous folio. Yay! That might be the nicest thing in the box. Yep, there it is. I'm a big fan of these. I really like this red here. That looks great. And we've got the Death Company on the front here. Nothing on the back. We've got a lovely kind of silhouette type thing going on there, which is cool. But there we go. This is my favourite thing the Games Workshop have been doing recently, and it's really lovely to see it in this box. So this is great. Presumably in here we are going to have the instructions and a very pretty set of data cards. There we go. That's a very cool piece of art right there. That's nice. I like that. Yes, we do have the assembly instructions, which we're going to need, and we also have codex supplement, Blood Angels, and some card. Free bit of card. Who doesn't love a free bit of card? That's a very nice cover with a shiny Blood Angels logo on the front and on the back. That's cool. That's classic artwork, though. We've seen this many times before. I like that. I like that. That's nice for a limited edition. It's cool. We will have a look at that later, no doubt. let's just pop the folio away because we're going to need everything apart from the cards for now. So let's just get that sealed away, and we will need Black Rage is what this is called. Black Rage, the Blood Angels Army set. Sounds like a debut album for a band. So there we go, there's our, we're going to need that in just a minute. And we are also within here going to find a set of bases. There we go, these should be all 14, no, I don't know what they are. They might be mostly 32s actually for the Space Marines. And they don't all come on 40s these days. And we have our Brutalis Dreadnoughts base just there as well. And we should be, yes, there it is. We have a transfer sheet as well. So this will be the first thing that's new that we'll quickly look at, because one thing some of you may have spotted already is that this is not a Blood Angels transfer sheet. This is a Death Company transfer sheet. And we actually have successor chapters on here as well. So the Flesh Tearers, the Angels Sanguine, and the Angels Carmine as well. No Lamenters. Sorry, Lamenters fans. Interestingly enough, we're getting a lot of Death Company decals around here, because the white of the Blood Angels logo is generally used to denote the Death Company. However, we also have sculpted shoulder pads that we could use instead of that, so this is interesting. What we also don't have on here is actual Blood Angels markings. I don't know if they appear on a Space Marine transfer sheet, but if they do appear on a Blood Angels transfer sheet somewhere else, that'd be good to see. I'm not entirely certain. This might just be that there is actually a Blood Angels transfer sheet that will come with some of the other Blood Angels kits that have been previewed, but this for now is just the Death Company one. So I'm not sure how useful this one is, unless you are a fan of a successor chapter like the Flesh Tearers, the Angels Sanguine, or the Angels in Carmine. But yeah, most of this is just sort of Death Company stuff, because we don't have, for example, the company markings, which would be different coloured teardrops. We have red and we have white, but we don't have the green, we don't have the yellow, for example, that you've seen on some Blood Angels transfer sheets from the past. Also, we don't have any of the black logos, which is traditionally what they have. So we'll just pop that to one side, and well, I guess we'll just jump straight in and have a quick little looky at the instruction manual. Here it is. So thing I'm interested to see is there should be obviously a walkthrough for Lemartes and a walkthrough for Astorath, naturally, because they're the only two new models in here. But I'm interested to see if there's actually going to be the jump pack intercessors and the assault intercessors in here, as well as how the new upgrade sprue interacts with those kits. So there you can see Astorath the Grim on one page, Lemartes on the other, and that's it for new. And then we have Death Company Marines, which I'm not entirely certain we're going to actually sprue review. I mean, we won't sprue review because we have already done these on the channel. If you want to go and see what it's like to build jump pack intercessors, you can. Same for the assault intercessors. At this point, we don't really need to do it. We're only going to be looking at things like this Eviscerator, for example, and as mentioned, this is where we are getting some of those additional details. So the Eviscerator is there. We have a recommendation as to what parts go on where. So F40 and F41. We have the Power Sword. That is actually on the new sprue as well. Not sure if it was over here. Yep. So there you go. That's new. There you go. F8. That's the one. F8 is the new Power Sword. It looks cool. Slightly different profile to a normal one. It's a little bit more ornate in some respects. And then it should be similar again for the jump pack intercessors. Yep, there they are. There's the Eviscerator. Gives you the recommendation on where to put it, how to put it on. These are the components that you need. And yeah, I mean, it's not an in-depth how to add the upgrade sprue to it, which, okay, I get it, you don't really need a full in-depth one, but it was a little bit more in-depth with the Deathwing Knights, for example. Showed you a little bit more about what was on there. The Brutalis here shouldn't have too much in the way of interaction other than this little section just here. Yeah, so these four things I should say, are all badges that you could put on your dreadnought. They're there. I mean, you don't have to build this as a Death Company dreadnought. Of course you don't. You could just build it as a normal dreadnought. You probably wouldn't use the skull and crossbones though, because that does denote Death Company, as you can see detailed on the back just there, which is fun. That's nice. So again, I think we'll just roll into the next thing, and the first thing we are just going to look at is going to be the upgrade kit, because they've needed one for a while. They've had two in the past. We had one of the kind of first wave upgrade kits when the Primaris stuff came out, which contained sort of 6 Mark 10 shoulder pads and 3 aggressors shoulder pads, and then like a chainsword and stuff like that. So one of those early ones, which actually was only 1 sprue, a little bit smaller than this, and whilst they were fine to begin with, as soon as 9th edition rolled around and the Imperial Fists one and all that, for example, came out, where they were actually giving you enough components to fill out an entire squad with a single purchase, they then kind of became irrelevant. So it's nice to see that they're finally getting one, and so we should just check out what is actually on here. So we have, by the looks of things, similar to the Deathwing, the Dark Angels one, in that it's not just the Terminator stuff that's on here. Now you'll notice, as mentioned, there is no Death Company shoulder pads. That is all freehand painted on. But if you do have other Death Company or older Death Company, then you should have a sprue which has a lot of the X's already on it in terms of shoulders, and it wouldn't be too much of a stretch to not replace these ones, but actually just to replace the blank shoulder on the jump pack guys and on the Death Company intercessors on foot. But what we do have here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Terminator shoulder pads straight off the rip, and we do have a Terminator power sword, and we do have a Terminator front part of a body as well, which is cool. Again, sticking with that kind of new Terminator theme of 10th. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 heads for your basic, normal, everyday Blood Angels, and then we also have a Terminator head there. In fact, I think that one, component 4, is actually for Terminators. Yeah, it would make sense, helmeted and unhelmeted. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 heads for your normal everyday guys. We have the Eviscerator there. It's a really nice big looking chainsword. It's not too much actually longer than a normal chainsword, but as mentioned, we do actually also have a chainsword here. We have a power sword for your regular guys. We have an Inferno pistol, which is nice to see. No hand flamer on here. We have one of those dreadnought bits, another dreadnought bit, another dreadnought bit, and then these 3 here for lots of large skull and crossbones. We have more sort of dreadnoughty bits, and then we have the kind of various different little trinkets and stuff. Interestingly enough, a lot of these, in fact all of these Terminator shoulder pads are all attached to the sprue in a horrible way. As you can see, we have a connection point on the underside of that shoulder pad there. Then we have one right there in the corner on the front of each one of these. And because these go on, I want to say, the right hand shoulder, though I can't quite remember. Yes, they go on the right shoulder because the Crux Terminatus goes on the left shoulder. This kind of bit here, if you mangle it, it's not the end of the world because it's backwards facing. So if you're looking at it from the front, you won't see the kind of clip mark. But just watch out for it because you want it to be nice and smooth. So be careful with your Terminator shoulders. The Gravis, again, we're connected here. Well, these are 1, 2, 3 Gravis shoulder pads just there. These are attached on the front, as you can see, which we don't really like to see. But again, usually this kind of shield here on the trim that actually faces towards the front on Gravis, so things like your aggressors and stuff. So again, that will be at the back, but just be careful around there. We then have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of your bog standard. Oh no, maybe 7. No, we have 6. No, there's more than that. No, it is 6. We have 6 shoulder pads for your regular Mark 10. Then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the Phobos. We've got more Gravis here, actually, by the looks of things. Maybe some of it's you just kind of want a key to go with this to make you will help you understand where everything goes, because some of these are for things like Stern Guard or Blade Guard. Just the slightly chunkier shoulders, as you can see, denoted by that kind of indent at the top there. It's been a while since I've built Space Marines, and I've actually blanked most of it from my head in favor of Age of Sigmar, so I'm not as au fait with what these kind of each exactly represent. I'm pretty certain that these, for example, go on the Stern Guard, or maybe something like Blade Guard, but then Blade Guard have got... Anyway, it doesn't matter. You're well equipped with one of these to do quite a few different models. So with 2 of them, you are well equipped to do most of an army of Blood Angels, which is pretty cool. It's, like I said, really good thing that they've now got it, because all of these are exactly identical. So whilst it's not the greatest upgrade sprue in the entire universe, it's not also the worst. I like the Eviscerator. I think that's the coolest thing on here, and the fact that there is an Inferno pistol included as well. I would have liked a Hand Flamer as well, but maybe that's just not Blood Angels anymore. And, well, Inferno pistols are very classically them, so it is a way to get those individual Inferno pistols that you'll want to put on things like Death Company and Sanguinary Guard, if the Sanguinary Guard kit doesn't already include an Inferno pistol, or just like your odd Sergeant here or there, you've now got access to a really nice Primaris one with a bit of Blood Angels flair to it. Just have a look on the inside. Now there's no marker on there, but we do have the hanging blood drop just there as well, and we do actually have a Blood Angels half for a Storm Bolter as well, which is nice to see. That's for the sergeant of your Terminator squads. Yeah, it's an all right. It's all right. I don't hate it. I'm just not that excited by it. I think maybe what would have been really nice on here is to actually just see some sculpted Death Company shoulder pads as well. To be honest, I maybe could have done without this many kind of vehicle bits or Dreadnought bits, because I feel like these are supposed to replace the Furioso Dreadnought, and I don't think they do. So maybe just some Death Company sculpted shoulder pads would have been really nice to see, because they have already existed. And painting those crosses is not for everybody. Anyway, we shall be right back in just a moment, because this is a long take. We shall be back in just a moment with our first model, which will be Astorath the Grim. Okay, so first actual new model in here other than just the upgrade sprues. I will just point out that first and foremost, there is not a key in the front of kind of the base sizes thing, you know, the kind of lots of different concentric circles, but what we do have up here is a indicator of what bases we have. So we have 20 32mm bases, 2 40mm bases, and 1 90mm round base. So that's the Brutalis, that's the 2 characters, and that's the 20 Space Marines. And the first in the series is going to be Astorath the Grim. Now it all fits on one page, as does Lemartes, but Astorath the Grim is consisting of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 components all in. Now even just looking at the instructions, I can see there's one thing already that's going to bother me, which is the 2 parts of a single shoulder pad. That always is annoying. It might result in a gap. It shouldn't, because this looks really detailed. It's not like the studded shoulder pads from Horus Heresy for the Mark IV Space Marines, I want to say, but time will tell. The wings actually look to be a lot more sturdy than previous editions of wings. They do attach into the kind of side profiles of the jump pack, and this is a single turbine jump pack, which is really cool. I like that a lot. In order to build Astorath, I should also say actually there are no options here. It will be the same thing for Lemartes, but there are no options. It is just every component will be used. There's no helmet, there's no non-helmet. Well, there's I think it's a death mask that he's wearing, because it's not just his face, but there's no, for example, weapon options, posing options. There's nothing. It's just Astorath is as Astorath does. So I'm going to pop that to one side. 17 components, I think, is what we said. It does go up to A17, so I'm just going to believe that for now. And here is our sprue. So we're going to require this sprue and a 40mm round base from our bag of bases. Now, let's review that sprue. So, first and foremost, we're going to be looking for irritating contact points. Now, first thing, we don't have one on the cutting edge of the axe. That's good. We like to see that. That's nice. But what we do have on both the wings, and the wings are gorgeous. They're not particularly highly detailed, but the wings are really, really nice. They're massive. Would have been nice to see these on some sanguinary guard, maybe. Oh, I don't know if we're ever going to let that go. The wings do have connection points on the kind of outward-facing pinions here and here, here and here. You want to be really careful around these because these are going to be the most visible, the most obvious, because they're the ones on the outward parts of Astorath the Grim. So kind of just when you look at him in profile, it'll be the bits that are directly on the outside. So you just want to watch out here and here. This one you will also want to be careful of because they're close to a face, and a face is always a focal point on a miniature. So just make sure you're being smooth with your knife or mold line remover when you are clipping out and smoothing down these parts here, and of course over here as well. Now on our shoulder, our two-part shoulder, it's all skulls in here and in here, so maybe it will clip together nicely over instead of the studded ones from the Mark IVs as predicted. So it's not too bad, and the connection point is on the underside of it, not on the trim, for example, which is good. Same for this shoulder pad over here. We have the connection point on the underside of the component. This is component number 8. This is a rock, so it's fine. The rest of the axe is actually pretty decent as well because the connection point is on the underside of the pommel of the axe, and this one is on the well, it's on the shoulder, but that's going to be covered up by a shoulder pad, which is absolutely fine. No problems there on that axe whatsoever. The leg, however, we do have connection points here and here on the other side of the rock, which is great, and then we have one here on the peg, which presumably connects to the other leg or part of the body in here, I would suggest. However, we do have a connection point right there on the kind of ankle bone, kind of the ball of the ankle, and that is going to be a real tricky one to smooth out because it's right in there on the kind of curve of that component. So that is just going to be a little bit of a hassle, and the same thing applies to this one here. In fact, that connection point just there on component number 4 is actually in between the kind of flensed armor, so it's not quite in the flensed bits, so that's good, but it's right in between on the trim. So you want to be really careful that you don't apply too much pressure when you're smoothing that one down, because if you do, you might end up kind of blurring the lines between the kind of flayed bits. I think it's what it's. I think it's flensed is what it looks like. That might be the incorrect word though, so do correct me in the comments if I've got that wrong. As you can see, we have part of the backpack assembly is actually built into the body, so no buying 3 Astoraths to get hold of these jump pack wings. I mean, you probably can. The better models out there definitely can do it for your sanguinary guard, which is one thing I perhaps maybe hoped for. But as you can see, part of the jump pack assembly is actually built in to the model, so you might have to clip it here and then bring that component over there and then add this one to this. It's possibly doable, but who's going to be buying 3 of these to do an entire unit of sanguinary guard? I don't know. Maybe you will, because you guys are legends. We have connection points on this part of the jump pack on the actual ball joints of the jump pack there and there, which is a big no-no. We don't like to see that. And this one is connected on the turbine on the rounded smooth part of the turbine. Now it's at this point impossible to determine whether it's going to be on the top of the turbine So on the backpack it's like this, or if it's going to be on the underside, we'll only know that once we actually start building. But by the looks of things, it's going to be slap bang right on the top. So you want to be really careful around here on this component just down here, component number 13. Lastly, there is one thing that I really don't like when it comes to heads in Warhammer, is when you have to glue the hair into the head. Now, you have to be really careful with how much glue you're actually applying here, because if you apply too much, it will all squidge out and it will run into the eyes and the nose, and it will just cloud up the features of the face. So do be really careful with that. It's connected reasonably here, component 6, around the outside of this hair piece. That's not too bad, and this head is actually connected at the neck, which is also good. But the fact that it's a head in 2 pieces is a bit that always going to bother me. So yeah, we don't like to see that. And then finally, we actually also have the main part of the body, where we have, again, connection points on the kind of smooth bits between the flayed muscles here, and we have it here as well. And then this one is right on at least the flat part of the elbow. So rather than it being on the apex, which it quite often is for Space Marines, it's actually on the flat part, so that's not the end of the world. We can deal with that, but you want to move with the curvature of the piece, just like you would over here with the ball joints, and just like you would here with the wings. You want to move with the curvature like this across the arm rather than north to south, as it were, because otherwise you run the risk of actually smoothing it down and flattening off the piece, where you don't want to do that. So we should build Astorath the Grim. It's not a bad sprue, it's not a great sprue. There's a couple of things, but we shall see how long it takes to put together the Grim one himself. Starting now. With Astorath all built, it took about half an hour to get it all nice and smooth and clean. It's looking pretty cool. It is an upgrade on the old one. There it is. So our next model that is new, and our last model that is new, is Lemartes. Comes on this one single sprue, and in order to build it we also require a 40mm round base. This looks like it's the full base. Nope, it goes onto the 40mm round base. So just pop that to one side for just a moment. Now, as you can see here, according to the instructions, he's actually in 25 components, which strikes me as a lot of components for such a itty bitty guy. So yeah, 25 components for Lemartes all told. That is a lot of plastic for just one small model. Now, there isn't any options. So there's no war gear options, there's no alternate heads, there's nothing like that. And there's no alternate posability. It's, you know, kind of what we expect really from named characters. It's the same deal as Astorath. So nice and simple set of instructions. It's a very cool model. I like it. I'm not sure we needed it. But it's what we've got. So here is the Lemartes sprue. So let's have a look at it, shall we? Now, again, we're going to look for things that we always find annoying first and foremost. So we'll start from the bottom right. So we have the base itself. Now this is all a nice smooth area around the outside. Now you want to be a little bit careful because this is going to be visible on the model. It's not the most important part of the base. However, it is a very visible part of it. So you just want to be careful as you kind of smooth those bits down. Just be very gentle with your knife or mold line remover. We then have a part of the backpack and jump pack assembly here. Connection points are here and here on flat smooth details, which is nice to see. We have a greave here where we have a connection point on top of the knee, which is fine, but then we have one right here on the side, which is not fine. We don't like to see that. We have the two kind of hip plates, which are for once on a Space Marine not connected like slap bang in the middle of the hip, because normally you would see these actually pretty much sculpted into the leg, so you would have the connection point right in the middle there. It's nice to see that it's not present here and here. This greave is exactly the same as this one, connection point on the top of the knee, which is fine, and then we have one right there on the side of the greave, which is not fine. It's quite congested area here and here, so just be careful with both of those. So we have part of the jump pack here, the two turbines here and here. These are connected like Astorath on the actual round parts. It's not kind of like this kind of flat part on, so just be careful around here, and of course on component 20 as well. Now the other part of the jump pack assembly is just here. We have a connection point on the underside of the kind of main power housing. That's okay, we don't mind that. But then we have it here and here again on the smooth round details on the sides. So again, you just want to watch out for that. Move with the curvature of the piece. We have a diddy little kind of, I guess it's part of his amulet. He's got a necklace on just here. It's a very small component. You just want to be very careful with your clippers here, because you don't want to clip off any of the actual detail on that one. Then we have a piece of the base here. There's an actual step which goes in just along there by the looks of things, and this should be fine. You know, we only have the connection points on bits that we can't see by the looks of things, which is good to see. The last bit of the jump pack assembly, which is this one here, we actually have the connection points on that kind of traditional underside of the kind of triangle of the backpack. Then we have it here where the two turbines are actually going to go. So this is not too bad, but it is going to be divided right down the middle. So watch out for any gaps. You might need to use a little bit more glue than normal, or if it's really bad, you want to use some liquid green stuff, for example. Connection point on the underside of the neck for the head is great to see. We then have another piece of the base, again smooth areas on the outside, so just watch out for that. And then we have the last part of the body itself, where we have a quite congested connection point here on the hip, but that should be covered by one of these. And then this one is right in the arm pit, so this one should be fine. It'll be covered up by, well, one of the arms. The crozius here actually comes in two parts by the looks of things. I think it's this piece over here which actually goes in there, but it is connected on the top there, not in amongst the spikes on the side, which is good. But then we have our classic here and here connection point on the elbow pads. We always point it out, but it's right there at the apex, and that one's right there at the apex as well. So you just watch out here and here. It's very easy to smooth it down and kind of flatten it off, which you don't want to do, so just be very careful around those bits. We have a part of a leg which is absolutely fine because it's connected on the two ends, one for either side of the bit of the leg. We have the 2 feet which are connected actually on the top for some reason of the kind of bit that goes over the arch of the foot, so here and here, so you want to watch out for that. They should be covered over by the legs and the greaves once they go on, but they might be a little bit visible, so just be careful as you're smoothing those bits down. Otherwise they are connected on the underside of the boot, which is fine because his feet are both planted, so you don't have to be too careful there. Just make sure you get off the extra flash. The gun has not got a connection point on the barrel. Instead it has actually got it on the top of the casing, but then we don't actually have one in the grip on the underside, which sometimes you see, which is good to see. Lastly, we have the 2 shoulder pads where it is connected on the underside of the shoulder, not in the trim, so that is good. And then we've talked about the croziers already, but this is also connected on a flat, smooth part rather than around here, for example, on the curved detail. So all in all, not too bad. Let's see how long it takes to build this with its 26, 25 components. 25 components. It's a lot of components for a small space marine. I don't get it. There we have it, sprue review all done. There's only 3 new things in here: the upgrade sprue, Astorath and Lemartes. The rest of it we've either already covered or we've already talked about this. But the big question on everyone's lips, as always, is have I painted the contents of this box? Yes, the 2 new ones. Check it out. Yes, Astorath and Lemartes are all built, all painted, and all ready for painting tutorials for all of you. They are glorious new Blood Angels models. Even if they are just redesigned versions of their old counterparts, they are absolutely massive, first and foremost. Astorath is enormous, and Lemartes is a proper angry little guy. He's not jumping off anything though, so that makes him look shorter. But I think they both look pretty good, don't you? I hope you agree. There you have it, Astorath and Lemartes. They're pretty cool. They're nice models. I like them. I do. Trust me. I do like them. Okay, this is the tough bit because I've filmed this now 7 or 8 times. This is take number 9. So we've got to get this right. So, how do we feel about the contents of the Blood Angels army set? Well, the sprues for Astorath and Lemartes, who are the 2 new models that we haven't covered before, are pretty good. I give them an 8.5 out of 10. Honestly, there's not too much to really feedback about them. There's occasional bits here that are the pieces of feedback that we normally have for Space Marines, like rounded edges and ankles and gauntlets and guns and all this kind of thing. It's the same stuff, you know. We always comes up on every Space Marine kit, and until it doesn't, we're always going to criticize it for it. It's not just going to be acceptable. No. So the sprues for those 2 are absolutely fine. I think the upgrade sprue is a really nice upgrade sprue because it really kind of equips you. Just like the Dark Angels set did, it equips you for building out the rest of your army. So whilst you will be using pretty much all of the Mark 10 shoulder pads for the jump pack intercessors and the intercessors, you do actually have then a bunch of Terminators and Phobos and all that kind of stuff left over as well, which is really nice. It's just a good thing. So getting this when you're starting a Blood Angels collection, or indeed if you have a bunch of them on sprue that you haven't got to yet, but you want to use Blood Angels shoulder pads, it's a fairly economical way of doing that. You do also get a Dreadnought, which is nice, and you get a bunch of extra infantry models, which is also nice. So as an army set, this is the bit I keep falling down when I'm filming this. As an army set, for a new Blood Angels fan, I think that this box is an 8 out of 10 on the Land Raider scale. For a new Blood Angels fan. That score changes due to a salty factor if you are somebody who has 10,000 points of Blood Angels. I am not a typical use case, right, for this type of thing, because I have this huge collection and I only ever want to augment it. I don't want to go back through and redo it, which is where Warhammer 40k is right now, especially in 10th edition. It has very much been an edition about, if you have a massive collection, you're kind of going back and redoing it. And if you don't have a massive collection, you're getting wonderful new models that you may have always wanted to do, but you just didn't want to do them because they were in Finecast. Devilish Finecast. Finecast like this one. Or Finecast like this one. So in that respect, it's an 8 out of 10 box. And I should leave it there. Now, if you'll permit me for 2 minutes, I'm just going to add a little bit of salt, a little bit of spice, a little bit of flavour to this. Because, well, I keep saying I've taken a bunch of runs at this, but I think I've got it now. My thing with Warhammer 40k right now is it doesn't surprise me. And I don't want my thing that I love to be predictable. I don't want it to be boring. I don't want it to be uninspiring. I don't want to be able to look at a release coming. I don't want you to say, what do you think the Blood Angels release is going to be? And I say, new Plastic Sanguinary Guard, Lemartes, Astorath, Sanguinor, and new upgrade kit for Blood Angels. I don't want to be able to do that. And yet, that is what I have done for months. Setting aside rules, setting aside things that have gone, because there are some stuff that has gone, and I get why it's gone. It will always forever remain in my cabinet, because I love my Blood Angels. Always have, and always will. But I shouldn't be able to predict what is going to happen. And at the moment, it's too easy to do that. You can look at any codex right now, and I've been saying this for months. Everyone has been really bored of me saying this, but if you can predict what's coming, are you really excited by it? At the moment, I feel like 40k has shown us the last page of the book, and so we're just kind of racing to get to the end point. So I'm perfectly happy with this box. It's absolutely fine. I think new people are going to really like it. I think people like myself are going to be a little bit put out by it, but that's our fault for loving it, I guess. Yeah, I just... It's fine, I guess. Warhammer 40k, man. I love Warhammer 40,000, and I can't wait for it to surprise me again. But for now, it's just not doing it. And until it does, I'm just going to kind of not care. It's hard because I'm never going to not care about Warhammer 40k. It's just so good. It's so wonderful. It's such a big part of my life that I love it. I really do. I'm just not surprised by it. That sounds like such a weird criticism. Oh, this video has been really tough to make. I hope it's made sense. I hope it's okay. I hope it's a good video. I don't know. I'm going to go and edit it now. Let me know in the comments what you think about the Blood Angels army set. I think it's great, but it's not for me. I think that is that's the simple summation. I could have probably just put that up as a post, but we make videos around here. Lots of videos. There is going to be painting tutorials for Lemartes and Astorath. If you want to know how to paint Death Company in a Contrast Plus style, there's already a video for that. You can check it out here on the channel. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you all for another Sprue review at some point in the future. Hopefully, some really cool stuff that I didn't predict. If you enjoyed this video, you love the channel and you'd like to support me further, you absolutely can do so by heading to patreon.com/Warhipster, just like all of these wonderful, amazing people have done. And alternatively, you could become a YouTube channel member by clicking on the join button below, exactly like these fabulous folks have done, scrolling up on the screen before you. There are so many of you out there that it really takes my breath away, and I cannot thank you enough for everything you do, as without you I wouldn't be able to keep making these Contrast Plus videos. And if you really like this video and you want to send me a little thanks, just click on the thanks button just below this video. Don't forget to share it, like it, comment on it, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and to make sure you stay up to date, don't forget to click the bell icon. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all very soon in the next one. Happy wargaming.